What does the scientific literature tell us about where the risk might be? This study investigated the risk of suffering complications in the fundus depending on the axial length and prescription. It shows that the risk of suffering myopia-related eye damage increases from 3.8% to 25% once the patient's axial length exceeds 26 millimeters. And the risk even reaches a ratio of more than 90% when the axial length exceeds 30 millimeters. It is clear that we know that refraction is closely related to axial length, and therefore that refraction and axial length appear to be related to eye damage. In any case, the authors of this study developed a predictive model and studied both variables, axial length and spherical equivalent refraction. What they found is that whereas the axial length continued to be significantly related to risk, this was not the case for the spherical equivalent. What does the International Myopia Institute tell us about myopia control? How should this myopia control be carried out? The authors of this report, in which they talk about instrumentation in the field of myopia management, are very clear. Researchers should avoid subjective methods. Indeed, they recommend that we measure either the axial length with an optical biometer or perform autorefraction under cycloplegia. We can clearly not use cycloplegia in opticians' practices, and the recommended open-field autorefractors are not available. Can we continue to use standard refraction as we are currently doing in our centers? Yes, the best is retinoscopy. However, we now have optical biometers available in our case. Let's see what we can do with an optical biometer and what we can do with an autorefractor. In sensitivity terms, an optical biometer has a sensitivity of around 0.01 millimeters. According to the study shown below, an autorefractor has a sensitivity with cycloplegia of around 0.21 diopters. So we have two variables, and we are going to try and find a connection to determine how we can get greater accuracy. Here we have a table. It is an approximate table, as the relationship between axial length and refraction is not unambiguous. Around 1 millimeter in the axial length field would be equivalent to 3 diopters. 1 diopter would be equivalent to 0.33 millimeters. 0.1 millimeters would be equivalent to 0.33 diopters. There we are in the sensitivity range of the autorefractor, but the biometer drops a scale lower, around 0.01 millimeters, which would be equivalent to approximately 0.03 diopters. As such, we can easily reach the conclusion that axial length is 5 to 10 times more sensitive than the prescription. Clearly, we cannot overlook the refraction. Clinically, we need the refraction to manage our patient.